Hello, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Yes, I am late. Sorry, I was out uh, planting more saffron and then making sure a contractor needed what he needed or had what he needed. Um, my French drain is finally being put in. Yay! The trenching's done. They're going to finish it tomorrow. Um, so that is fantastic. And the doggy is playing with the pipes. That is hilarious. Anyway, welcome. I'm Katrina. This is Sow and Tare live chat. We do this every Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I have a proposal for next week, though. This weekend, I'm going to the Oregon State Beekeepers Association conference. It could be a different name, but it's something like that. So Monday is going to be a travel day for me. So I could do that, but I kind of want to change it to Thursday. So what do you guys think about that? Doing a Thursday instead of a Monday, same time, 6 p.m. Pacific time, and then yeah, let me know what you think. So, all right, zooming up to the top. Verna's here. Vase Place is blue with a little wrench, and she is moderator. Also, Steve Swanson, S.O. Swanson, little wrench. Verna has live chat on Wednesday afternoons and Saturday evenings. Steve has a bunch of quail. All right. Welcome. Steve's going to settle for being second. Oh. All right. All right. Guys, we're counting down. My goodness. Yeah. I wasn't on time. I'm sorry. Dawn's here. Welcome. Andy's here. Welcome. All right. I am here now. 30 more seconds and you win the pool? What pool is it that I'm going to be late? Guys, I have reasons. Okay. No more talk about you being. You have showed up. Steve has shown up like early. Like, what's wrong? Like, are you sick? I've been early the past several times. Erica's here. Hello. All right. See, I was waiting for Erica to show up so I could show up. No, that's not really it. Which is being put in tomorrow. So the French drain, I have half a motor on the house now. It is dug now, and so basically a French drain moves water away from a structure usually, or away from any area. And so last year the water just came out of the hillside. There was artesian springs that showed up. It was just coming out of the the dirt. It was doing all sorts of stuff, and I had to dig a trench around the house to get the water to go and use a transfer pump, and it was a lot of stuff. So I'm like, can we please do a way over engineered, overbuilt French drain? And so they dug it today. Got a little excavator behind the house, very tight turns. It did surprise me though, at the base of the engineered hill behind the house, where you guys have seen the deer walk sometimes when I'm in the other room. And there's like a footing underneath the two cement block high retaining wall, and there's actually a footing under it. I was very surprised to see that. But it's good. These are good things. So the rock got delivered today. They're going to be doing the I don't know what's called. It's not weed fabric, but it's similar. I think it's like a felt fabric. But so the dirt can't get into where the rock is, but the water can, and that'll be lined. And then they'll put down some rock, with rock meaning like it's like gravel, like that big. And then put in the pipes with holes on one side. And when water goes into that, it will then go into the pipe and flow down into the ditch and then into the culvert and then on the other side of the road. And there you go. So that is happening. Yay. Should be finished tomorrow. I'm happy. Okay. Verna's daughter is there tonight, but she's asleep. Wake her up. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, 6:04 on Thursday. Exactly, Steve. I would aim for 6. I'm sorry. I would aim for 6. Um, yes. Thank you for putting Verna's times up there. Grandkids are in school, so she's tired. All right. Melanie's here. Awesome. Hi, Melanie. Melanie used to be my neighbor. She used to live right there. Hope you're doing good. I want to hear all about your stuff. She moved to a property in a different state and she has dreams. That's what I'm gonna go with. um, yeah, awesome to see you here. The elk have been, tell your husband the elk have, you can know too, but the elk have been in the pasture. Um, a couple of them, I haven't seen them. I've seen their scat. And so I will be putting out trail cameras out where they were bashing antlers last year. So hopefully get some good footage of that. Good to see you here. All right. And Melanie was here for, were you here for both of those storms that went through or just one? I think you were here for both of them. It might have just been one, but yeah. Just to follow up on that, like the town FEMA has still not come through for the town, which really sucks because a lot of people have damage from the town. There are other organizations that have funded some fixing of things, but FEMA totally failed at providing any assistance to our town. So, anyway, moving on to happier things right now. All right, how far from the house itself is the trench? Like that? Maybe. What in some places like that, and some places like that. So the retaining wall is not being moved. So that's what they're basing off of. So yeah. Yep. And then everything from the house to the trench is being just slightly sloped. And they have the elevation thing where it's beep, 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 beep. So they can tell that it's sloped appropriately, which is really, really nice. And not every contractor will do that. All right. Tommy's here. Howdy, Earthlings. Howdy, Thomas. Thomas? Tommy. Why did I just call you Thomas? You're not a tank engine. Hope you're doing well. My catalpa leaves are still changing, and I still probably will not do anything with them unless you want them. Then I'll send you a bunch, and you can distribute them. For those not knowing, catalpa is a tree, and the leaves are used by fish people, not mer people, fish people, in their tanks to deal with the benthos, deal with the pH and bacteria, is what I remember. Steve says, will you be putting in more dirt between the drain and the house to direct it more into the pipe? There's already dirt. No, you mean this way? No. Yeah, French drains, it's far enough away from the house. I mean, and there's really no further to go because there's a slope here, and then there's a small area here, and then there's the house. So it's in there. Yeah. Anyway, Verna says, oh, the reason cuz it's early is his grandkids are in school. They're in bed. Oh boy, I get that. All right, Melanie says doing great. I live in Kentucky now, and he will love that. Yeah, let him know, and I'll probably have some good footage on my channel of the elk. Her husband loves the elk. Yeah, you were here for both of them. I didn't remember if it was one or both because I don't remember when it happened. But yeah, I am getting French drain behind the house, so that is awesome. Yeah, Steve, I know. Good luck on FEMA, he says. Yep. Oregon's not high on the list. Uh-oh. Verna's teasing Tommy. Goodness. I didn't even see it either. Oh, I got it. I just didn't read it. Oh my goodness. Oh, you just glared yourself. I figured your actual name was Thomas, but you know. Oh, and other names we can call you whatever. Oh my gosh. Um. Oh, you have Melanie says I have to put one in too. Yeah, French drains are they're it's an easy concept. It's just how hard is the ground and how deep do you need to go and how far away from things. You spontaneous about anything, Tommy? We're gonna test that maybe. Um, yeah, French drains are awesome. And then I also learned about from this person who's doing this. I learned about curtain drains, which is I think used mostly in roads. I don't know if it's mostly used in roads. That's just we had a conversation. And curtain drains are like when they go really, really deep and into gravel, big rock. And at the bottom is one of those drain pipes and it goes off. And that's like, that would be an alternate to use instead of what I'm familiar with, which is a check dam, or not check dam, a water bar. And I'm using language that's used for trails, not roads. I don't know if it's also used for roads, but yeah, for making the roads um, not wash out. So anyway, and I did not know that was a thing before to go so deep. Dawn says FEMA was the same as it was in the flood of 93. We quickly found out, yeah. Yeah, they don't do everything they should, and there's some other things going on, but we're not talking politics. All right. Yeah, Melanie, the poor little town is always low on the list for everyone. Yeah, it there's a lot of damage. There was a lot of damage, and I had very little damage. I mean, the damage that I did have was more um, to the roads, which nobody funds. The driveway up, and then the road that goes up the back of property, and so that's not nobody funds that. So, but I may be getting help with the French drain. Maybe I have to. They called me and I have to apply. So there is you'll be happy to hear, Steve, that there is a reason for not doing things immediately. That maybe you get funding. Um, yeah. Anyway. Anyway, so yeah, that is what's going on here. I did plant some saffron, and so that's going to be a video, I think, tomorrow. I need to actually do it. And I need to plant more. It's growing. But it has leaves starting, so I think it's just because I planted it so late, or that it's not, much of it isn't planted. But a lot of it was planted late, and so I think that's going with leaves first, so it can get the energy, and then spend time on flowers. So usually, what happens, especially if it's established before you start doing this, is it will have. Make sure he gets out. um, okay, sorry, I'm making sure. Okay. Um, so usually what happens is the flower comes up first, and then after the flowers happen, the leaves happen. Now, I have had years where the leaves and flowers come out all at once. Don't know why. We're gonna blame it on the climate. Um, but yeah, having saffron is awesome. If you want to plant it now, it's going to be very, very hard to find if you didn't order already. So order for next year, and orders for next year probably don't start in most places until like the spring or late spring, early summer, probably, because everybody that I know that ships it in August or September. You're supposed to plant it in September. I didn't get to it in September, so it's being planted now. It Where I used to live, it bloomed in the week. It started blooming the week of Halloween, so that's something to keep in mind as well. All right, Howie's here. Food forest permaculture. Good evening, Howie. Okay, Steve. Steve wants to know how the gathering process is going, and he's referencing acorns, and I did not do a concerted effort. I did basically that one tree when I was walking down the bunnies, and I missed a whole lot. So what I should have done is put a tarp under it and try and shake branches that are way up there. And I still have not gone up, and there's a bunch of tan oaks acorns on the ground, and I was going to go up the hill and get some, but I haven't done that yet. So here's what it looks like. This is what I have. Most of it is from the oak tree. Some of it is from the tan oak. I think I have 3 hazelnuts in there too. So in the past, these I believe don't have any bugs in them. I only picked up ones that didn't have bugs, at least on the holes and stuff. Hopefully they don't have bugs. They are just sitting here air drying. The bottom of this is like this, so it's drying. These are quite large acorns. If you're wondering, my hand is not dirty, it is dyed. If you don't know why, we'll go through it later. So that is the oak that is here. And then we also have a black oak here, but I didn't collect anything. I don't even remember seeing acorns on it. This is from a tan oak, which is not an acorn. Yeah, these are huge, Dawn. These are pretty big. I'm used to coast live oaks, which is like maybe half this size. They're more skinny and long, but this is closer to like what I'm familiar with as a valley oak or a blue oak. And we might, I think there's an Oregon white oak, and that might be it. I have not looked up what kind of oak because I just haven't. It doesn't really matter to me. I know I have at least 2 different kinds here, and I don't have very many. So the one with the pokies on each lobe, I think is a black oak or a Kellogg's oak, whatever you want to call it. And then it might be, I have heard of Oregon white oak. I don't know if that's what it is or not. Somebody tell me. Anyway, so yeah, that's all. It's all edible. All right. Zooming up here. So yeah, in the past, I've collected them and they're green, and then I just, get the shell open and do that immediately because I could collect a whole bunch at once, and I have not been able to do that here. There was one day where there's a lot that fell, but a lot was like this much, like half that. I didn't even look at the other tree, but there's so many animals here eating them. The deer are eating them, the elk are eating them, the turkeys are eating them. The jays were picking them off the tree and going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So they got a lot of them. We'll find out what happens with this much, and I may go up the hill and see if I can find more before I do that. And by finding more, I mean tan oaks, which again are not oaks, but you can eat the acorns. Okay. Hi, Howie. All right. Dawn says, I just had 2 inches of rain. You can no longer claim drought. The burn bans are still in effect because the drought was not touched. We need slightly over 7.5 inches of rain. All right. All right. Howie says, thumbs up. Dirty thumbs up. Should I tell you why this is? Hopefully everybody watched the videos from yesterday and today. Okay. Verna says that's about what they got. Dawn says, I needed acorns last week, but we can't find any yet here. I had to hot glue them on a costume. Use peanuts instead. Okay. Okay. What is the costume? All right. Steve says, I found a pecan in my driveway today. Still had the shell on it, trying to find the pecan tree it came from. Just the one. I think maybe there's a bird that dropped it. Or somebody is playing a very small prank on you. Yeah. You guys ever see the show, what's it called? New Girl? Yeah. New Girl is there was a guy in there who does pranks that are way too small and way too big. That just reminded me of one of his pranks was to leave wood shavings near someone's car. And that was it. I was like, okay, so maybe a squirrel's playing a prank on you. All right. Howie says we have Gary Oaks here on Vancouver Island, Scarlet Oaks too. Yeah, New Girl was a good show. It was a good show. That and Psych is my all-time favorite. I just have to say that is my all-time favorite. You want to know my humor? That's it. Yep. You want to know my humor? Watch the show Psych and watch Hot Shots. There you go. Anyway, yeah, so there's a lot of different oaks. There's, hundreds of different kinds. And I know I have at least 2 kinds here. There's not very many trees. There's more trees than I thought I had because I forgot about the ones, I think there's 2, over by the chickens. And the one that I'm thinking of over here, I think is more than 1, but it's all like in one group. So I think of it as 1. But yeah, so those ones are pretty old trees. This one that I was walked down to the bunnies, that's a pretty old tree. And then everything else that's upslope is not very old. So I should ask Melanie. Melanie, do you know what kind of oak is here since you're on here? Because I don't know. And it's not that I just don't know. It's just that I haven't looked it up or haven't done any of that research. Anyway. Yeah, so that is the story here. I was going to play. Let me find it. I was going to play the short for you guys that I did for yesterday. And let me do that. And then those that don't already know can guess. And then we can find out why well, this also has to do with this. Okay. Share screen, window, that one. Volume. All right. All right. So, anybody not see today's video and want to guess before we expose what it is? Because I think it's hilarious and I thought it was hilarious and I did that. Anyway. That was a pile. Oh, stop. Okay. We need to mute that. Okay. And then skip it. So yeah, if you guys put in your guesses, that is a good thing to do now. So we can show you guys what it actually was. All right. Couldn't really see it. Okay. Black oak and white oak mostly. Okay. That works. You couldn't see it. Do you want to see it again? Let me open up another one. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay. Oh, that's because that's muted. Okay, we're gonna try it one more time. Mm-hmm. Where'd you guys go? There you are. Okay, we're gonna try it one more time. One more time. Share screen and window. Okay, the volume's all the way up. Let's see. I can't really go back. Okay, back. There we go. So that is the pile we're looking at. Okay. Thank you for the black oak and white oak, Melanie. That is helpful. Saw a pile of. All right. Good boy says so. Yeah, thank you. No, no, Melanie. That's what everybody was saying on the short. That's what it looks like, but I tricked you. One more time. Okay. Not that I tricked you one more time. I was just reading Tommy's comment. So now I'm going to share screen window for what it is. Oh, wait. I got to unmute. All right. So that is what that is. Well, that's still no sounds. What? Still no sounds. Yeah. So that is walnut. This is what happens to your hands when you handle walnuts with your hands. You can see this is the one I was carrying them in, and this is the one I was peeling stuff off with. And that's what you end up with. So there you go. All right, Verna. I don't know why there's no sound. There's sound now, right? I did not steal someone's supply. It was out for the taking, and it had been out. That's all I found underneath both of those trees. So, yes, nice small. If you want walnut color, this is the color walnut is. Okay. Yeah, no, I piled them up like that. And I was just like, because I didn't have my little carrier thing, and so I needed to pile it up somewhere. I just piled it up near the base of the tree. So, yep. Anyway, that was the fun thing I found yesterday. Um, the hulls make good fabric dye. They do. Most of the ones that I found were brown hulls, so that's why I'm saying I was late to the party. Usually when you find them, usually when people look for them, they still have green on them. I found some that were yellowing, but yeah. Oh, Verna's gonna say why there is no sound. Okay. Thank you. So I know for future because I do want to know that. I did. I did not say that it was poo. I just said we have elephants. Um, yes, yes. Make a pile of walnuts. And then, they're not cleaned out yet. It did look like poo. Most people guess bear scat, and yeah, it looked like it from far away, but that would be a big, big pile. I think the piles I've seen are a little smaller than that, but yeah. Oh, Melanie, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the channel or not, but there is a roadkill deer in between, like on the corner between my house and your old house, and you should watch that video because a bear took the deer away. Yeah, definitely watch that one. Yes, a good wood dye too. Yeah, so we'll see how long this lasts. It's, very attractive. Um, what is henna made out of? That's a clay, isn't it? This is not henna, and it's like poo brown, um, instead of the nice vibrant thing that people do. But you could do something like that with it too. Anyway, does anybody else have any uses for parts of walnuts um, besides dye and food? I'm sure there's some medicinal thing that I don't know. Melanie said, I saw that one. Dad came home. Yep. Yep. A big meal. Okay. Howie says, follow the squirrel to their stash inside logs, cars, buildings, lots of nuts and fruit, and like apples. I have a friend who was making some upgrades in her house, and she lived in the woods, and um, she took off some drywall, and it was filled with acorns. It was filled. It was filled. The whole wall was filled with acorns. She took out the drywall and yeah. So let's not do that, right? Um. Oh, right. Okay. They break windows pretty good. Bear or acorns? Window? What? Walnuts? Walnuts? You must have parked underneath a walnut trees. Did I? Andy, you're being cryptic. Tell me more. Oh boy. Yeah, so Melanie said, I saw that one. Ted came face to face with one in the barn. Yeah, yeah. So right now I know of 3 for sure that are here, and probably at least one more. We have the big male I got on record. We have 2 properties away. There is a big bear that's going to be a mama. That or she's very extremely fat. She's also very extremely fat. She's ready for winter. And what's I'm going to guess is probably one of her cubs was on Melanie, your old place. We got a camera shot of that, but it's on. I don't put stuff from other people's places. Oh, acorn insulation. Yes, Andy. Yeah. Um. Yeah. All right. Steve says I was going to say it was a pile of scat, and her hands still stained from it. No more shaking her hands. Love it. Love it. It's mostly my left hand. This one's, just fingers. Totally clean. Just died. Oh. Okay. Thank you for putting the link for the roadkill video, Verna. Acorn insulation. It probably was very good insulation, actually, Andy. Um, Andy says, I'm sure you all have said I hate black walnuts. Um, so I had a forester come out here a while ago because when I find out that people can come out to your place and tell you about things for free, I'm like, yes, please do come. Um, and he said that walnuts are not native to here. And so I don't know what the area is that they're native to. I know parts of California it's native and parts I'm not sure where that line is, if there's a line. But I have two, and one of them is quite huge. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe that was not true or planted by very, very, very early pioneers or traded as a seed and planted by native people here that were here before Europeans. I don't know how old it is, but it's pretty old. And the other one is like pretty much right next to it. I kind of think maybe it may have been planted, but it may have also grown from a walnut from that one. But they are round, and I mean, there's different kinds of walnuts, so I just know that they're round. All right. Andy says, I'm sure y'all have said I hate black walnuts. Have heard me say I hate them. Oh boy. Walnuts are tasty. They're tasty. I know when I was in California, there was walnut trees, and like pretty much all of them were grafted. So you would have the native walnut on the bottom, and then there'd be a line, and then the bark would change to almost white. And that was either the European walnut or what's the other one? Starts with a P. What's the place with a P that has walnuts? I want to say Persian, but I don't know that that's right. Anyway, there's another one. There's two different kind of main varieties that they were doing. Anyway, so there's a lot of walnuts with, a couple feet up. There's a change in the bark. Okay. Yeah, shelled or unshelled sent to Andy. I think she's saying that she hates them. You can correct me because of this. Yeah. Howie, good night. Thank you for coming and stopping by. Yeah. Berna says we have a lot of unshelled, or we have a lot of black walnuts here, unshelled. Oh my goodness. My goodness. Oh, Melanie says the shell can be ground up. We're talking about walnuts and used for face scrub. That is true. And it also has uses for digestive health. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I knew about the face scrub because they use that, and they also use apricot. They use walnut shells and apricot husks for that. So apricot, almond. I might be getting confused. I think the almond husks. I don't know what to call them. The outer part of the almond, I think it's also used for that. Yeah. Berta's laughing. Sue says you won't have to use a tanning bed if you use those walnuts instead. Yeah, just rub it in. Oh, okay. Andy is elaborating. I hate black walnuts. The taste, the smell of the trees, everything. Oh my gosh. What about other walnuts? My mom's allergic to walnuts, but only if they're not cooked. That's the raw oil, which is interesting. Anti-parasitic. Yep. Yeah, and they say so. All of the walnuts have something in them that not many things grow underneath. And I know I've heard this over and over again. Pretty sure it doesn't apply to grasses because I've seen grasses underneath walnuts everywhere. So I don't know what that applies to, but yeah. Uh-oh, Dawn also doesn't like them. Andy didn't buy a house because of the black walnuts in the yard. You know you can cut them down, right? Oh, cut them down and sell them for the wood. Oh my gosh. You're just not doing it right. You gotta dry them. How funny. Well, we hit a subject for Andy. A sore subject. Um, 15 trees. Yeah. Yeah, the wood that comes from walnut is very, very good. In fact, I I was going to make like a coffee table thing from a walnut tree that was coming down off of a job site, and so it was a big one too. It's big. So the guys cut me off a slice. Their slice was not very even. It was like this big on one side and that big on the other. And got it into the truck, got it home. It was, when you cut down a tree, it's heavy because it's still wet. And so it has to dry. And it had some bug holes. So I had to put, garbage bags around it and then put some of those bug balm things in there and let it kind of, you know, um, yeah. And then, did all that and then let it sit for several years and did nothing with it. When I moved, I actually gave it to someone who put it to good use, and he got two pieces out of it. What did he do with it? I don't even remember what he did with it. Something like a bathroom counter and another counter, I think is what he did. So at least it went somewhere. But yeah, it was in the backyard for a very long time in the way. Um, Dawn says they do something to ruin the soil and grow things. Yeah. I don't know if it's tannins or if it's something else. I think it's something specific to, because tannins is an oak as well, but I think there's something specific in walnuts. And I don't remember what that is. Walnuts is juglans is the genus name. Um Andy said the yard was too small for anyone to cut down easily. So it'd been, yeah, a lot of money. Yeah, 1,500 tree. Yeah. And that was a long time ago. Exactly, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's right, Melanie. You have the wood collection. I forgot about that. Don't feel bad. I still have probably 15 slices of hemlock that I've made poor Ted move around all the way from Alaska from 2014. Oh my goodness. Yeah. But you know what? It's gonna make lovely. I think you're gonna do end tables or something with it, if I remember right. It's gonna make lovely pieces of something someday. If not for you, then for someone. Yeah, yeah. Oh, Andy says my son had his car window broken by black walnut tree 3 different times in one season. Broken because the limb fell or because of the walnuts were too heavy? I'm confused. What? How did it break the window? You're talking about the front window? Hmm. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry, I had to get a vest. Tables. That's right. I thought that was what you were doing with them. All right. So this live was supposed to be focused in on camera traps, wildlife cameras, trail cameras. So if anybody has questions on that or has like a how to or maybe a tip or whatever, go ahead and ask. Or if you're watching this later, put it in the comments and we will address it. Verna says, did not see evidence of that here, where they cut down the walnut tree as well as the mulberries and trumpeter vines. Yeah, specific to the walnuts. Andy says a walnut fell off back window every time of a Mustang. Well, I think maybe parking underneath that tree is probably not a good decision after the second time. I'm sorry. A walnut fell? Goodness. Yeah, I need to be better about getting the timing down here. Um, Someone brought me a black walnut, which is elongated. So it's different. The different type. They said it was black walnut. It's a different type than what I have. Um, and I was like, oh yeah, I should probably go look. It's probably too late. Last year, I don't even remember when I did it last year. It's somewhere in the videos. But last year I did um I got 5 of them when I looked. And so this is much more than 5. Uh, so it's good. Andy says the guy behind had his greenhouse made of old windows broken from black walnuts. Oh boy. Tommy says walnut is great ground up in soap for your mechanic friends. It gets grime really well, and then your hands will look like this. Good to know. Yeah, good to know. Verna says they were all together, growing all within a few feet of it. The trumpeter vine was growing up the black walnut tree. Yeah, so I don't. There seems to be like some plants that can grow under and near, and some plants that don't. Yeah. Oh, you use the walnut shell to wash. Yeah, so it's scrubby scrubs. Yeah, that was a technical term. Scrubby scrubs. Um, Same stuff used in sandblasting. Yeah. Right. So Andy's likes the Diamond brand walnuts. I think they are English walnuts. There's English and there's something else that starts with a P. Persian. Persian? Is that a thing? I think it's English and Persian. There we go. Thank you, Melanie. Toxin is juglone or juglone, however you want to say it. It's a natural herbicide. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I knew it wasn't just tannins like from oaks. It was its own thing. But it doesn't affect everything. It just affects some things. So like um I don't know, maybe woody plants or fruit trees or something. I don't know. Andy says if I eat anything, even store-bought black walnut, anything, I will buy a shell every time. Store-bought was black walnut ice cream. So I think this has to do with the shape of the nut. Because when you break up a walnut, there's 2 halves, and then in each half there's meats. And in some walnuts, I think there's 4 pieces, and in some walnuts there's 2 pieces. And I think the English walnut is the one that's very easy to get out. So I think that's the case for that. Yeah. And so the black walnuts, you have to really break up and then you separate. I think you can separate it with water though. Like things float and things don't float, I think. Somebody confirm? I think you can. Um, I've never done a harvest except for like the 5 walnuts last year. I always thought, oh, I should do that, and then I missed the season where I was before, at least. And so now that I have 2 trees to pay attention to, I think I can pay attention to 2 trees. Oh, Andy's uncle grows English walnuts. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know why. Um, I don't know why the I don't know how the English walnut came to be the one. If it was, I mean, it's a superior nut in the case that it has a different flavor, and then it has like you can get the whole half of a nut, nut out pretty easily or more easily than the black walnut. But I'm not sure how it came to be like the main crop or the main type of walnut grown. If it was because of that, or if it was because people from England brought it over and was like, oh yeah, we like this, but it can't grow in the soil here, so let's graft it. Because I know that at least where I used to live, that was the reason for grafting, is because it was a much more resilient tree when on roots of the native walnut. Yeah. Oh, Andy's uncle grows for Diamond in California. Awesome. The ease and the taste. Yeah, I just wonder like if it was a cause and effect, like, hey guys, this is really the best one, let's use it, or if it was, hey, we like this one because this is what we've always had, and then as they moved across the country, that became what they used. I don't know. So you can use the shells for crafts. Yep. Yep. We didn't find out what the costume was that someone put peanuts on. Was that Dawn? Who put peanuts instead of whatever? Anyway, nobody has questions about camera trails, trail cameras or wildlife cameras or camera traps. Those are the three things I call them. Yeah, black walnut is more bitter in taste. I would say it has more bitterness in it, but then it's also a deeper flavor. That makes sense. In any case, I collected my little amount of them, and I will dry them and eat them. I don't know if I have one or not. I used to have, you put the drill bit, it's like this thing like this big, and it is like a cement mixer or a paint mixer kind of a thing. You can do a mixer. I've seen people do that in 5-gallon buckets and do really well with getting all the husk off. Now I have the husks are off, but it has like the residual stuff around it, and I think that would probably work really well for that. Yeah. Yes, Andy. Andy's asking, have you ever seen Living Traditions Homestead video on black walnuts? Yep. I'll have to rewatch it, but yeah. I've seen most of their stuff. Yeah. So anyway, so that's the progress on the nuts. Is I've collected things and haven't done anything with them. Both acorns and that. I was noticing, I believe, because I saw it from distance, the madrone berries are getting ripe up in the tree. I saw the one over here was getting ripe, so it's pretty cool. Yeah. Hey, Ed. Ed's here. Welcome, Ed. Haven't seen you in a long time. Say hi to Wendy, too. Andy, or blip, blip, blip. Ed says, I believe that was a horse poop in your video. Yeah, missed it. They're walnuts. Yep, walnuts that I had peeled off the outside, and it looked like poo, and so I put it in a pile. So I told you to be surprised. Yeah. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good. Andy says black walnut trees grow wild around me. Yeah, I've not followed up with the forester's statement that walnut trees were not native to here. I have paid attention since that, and I haven't really seen very many. But hey, what happens. And I hope to plant many other things that are not native to here. But yeah, the one walnut tree is very large, and so I don't know how. Here's the history I do know. I know that there was a house built in the 30s in the pasture. The 30s was almost 100. Was it almost 100 years ago? Did I just say that? It's almost 100 years ago. So if that tree was planted during that time, so that's what, 95 or less years ago. So yeah, I mean, it could be that big. Yeah. All right. Definitely just looks like poop. Exactly. That's why I did, Ed. That's why I did the short, because I'm like, I have to record this. You know my humor. And you can plant them like you did in Cali. The trees, different trees. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I thought I knew everybody was going to say poop. But there's clues there, guys. If anybody was a plant person, they would notice that the leaves of the walnut were right there and on the ground, so they would see that. But I guess no plant people cared to comment. So anyway, yeah. So I'm things are in the works. Uh, Andy says Dan's mom was born in the 30s. Spit out the pits and plant the trees. Won't really work with walnuts, but for other plants, yes. Actually, I have some of the pits. I have some of the pits from my white peach. I have no idea if they're still good or not. There's some that I think are still in the refrigerator, unless my mom threw them out when she was here. Hopefully not. I just put them in there to keep them cold. Then I have some that are more dried. I have some apricot pits too. So I just haven't done anything with them. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So the history I know on this property goes back to the 30s, and in 1930, maybe 1930. In 1930, my grandma was 6. In 1930, um, the easement for the power line road, it was power line, the high tension or high voltage power line that goes across the property. Someone paid $1 for. The power company paid them $1. Yeah. Melanie, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, it is late where you are. But you know what? You're in the time zone of most of the people talking on here. But good to see you. I hope Kentucky's treating you well. And yeah, I'm excited for what your place is looking like now. Awesome. 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 Good to see you. Um, so yeah, I do have some pits of some of the stuff that was at my old property. I'm not going to do anything with them until I know for sure that things are happening. And I have steps that need to happen before that happens. As I've said before, I know I'm going at an okay pace, but I feel like things should be done already. So I'll feel much better once the French drain is in, and that will be, that will make me just feel better for the winter. So that's good. But yeah. So yeah, saffron, awesome. Thank you, Melanie. So saffron is, some of it's in the ground, some of it's not in the ground yet. And so that will be, I don't know if I'll get any flowers this year, which is fine. I have saffron from previous years. But it'll be nice to get that in the ground and have it know that it's in the ground and in a permanent home. And then just getting stuff in is where it feels good to get stuff in the ground that's going to stay there. In fact, that might be the first thing that's going to stay where it is that I planted. I didn't even think about that. Andy ordered saffron last night. Awesome. Where did you order it from? Because everywhere I know of is sold out. I'm not asking for me. I'm asking so other people can look. I got mine from Dutch Grown. That's where I originally got it many, many, many years ago. What was that, like 11 years ago? Oh, Baker Creek. That's right. Baker Creek does have saffron. I wonder how much it is. I didn't know they still had it, or if they may have. Yeah. Baker Creek is rareseeds.com. Saffron. Yeah, Territorial Seeds has them, which is close to me, and I probably should have bought them from them because it's close to me. Oh, Territorial Seeds has them right now. Starts shipping in September until sold out. Okay. And other one, Baker Creek. Um, they, how do you, oh, you can order it. So, yeah, price is somewhat similar between those two. Dutch grown is going to be out probably, is my guess. Yep, sold out. But with Dutch grown, you can buy a larger bulk price and you can get them for cheaper. And it's, it does really good. So, where'd you guys go? Here you are. Yeah, Amazon does it too. I mean, you can get them from all sorts of different places. It's just what are where you trust it and where you're going to get it from is like, I don't know. Just go with whatever you feel best with. Andy says, do you think it would grow good in the blueberry pots? Sure. Well, I'm going to revise that. Are your blueberry pots well draining? Because blueberries can like water. And I don't know if acidic soil is good or bad for them, for saffron. But yeah, I don't know what you're agreeing with me, but that's fine. Yeah. So you're talking about like here's a blueberry, here's a pot. Let's plant them around the outside. Try it, and if they do well, they do well. But self-wicking, try it. They don't want to be wet all the time. That's the only thing. Oh, agree where to buy from. Yeah. And also just like the price per bulb. If you're gonna get a lot, you can get a lot. If you want a lot but can't afford it, that's fine. They will reproduce. It'll just take a few years, before you have that many, which is completely fine. Yeah, so they don't like to be in wet conditions. You can rot them out just like you can daffodils. So I would say if you would plant daffodils around your blueberry plants, I did not mean to say daffodils. I meant to say tulips. If you would plant tulips around in the conditions of your blueberry pot, then I would say that saffron would do fine as well. So yeah. Andy says, I bought some gourd seeds from Amazon and they were not. Yeah. Yeah. The things about gourds and cucurbits in general, and squashes and pumpkins is you can have a fruit and take its seeds and plant it unless that's the only kind that was in your yard, unless that was the only kind that was being pollinated by those bees or whatever. It can be a mix. Squashes and gourds, they mix very easily. So if there's gourds with other gourds, squashes with other squashes, or I don't know if they mix with each other, but that whole area, that whole group does. Yeah. Verna says, question, if you have saffron already established and wanted to thin them out, when is the best time to thin the patch and replant the bulbs? So I would do it not now because they're about to bloom. Personally, I would wait until they senesce, which means that the leaves die back, which is going to be in summer. You could probably do it just fine when they are growing, but you have the most chance to injure them when they are growing. So similar to if you're thinking about like pruning, or like if you're going to dig up like if you buy a bare, so think about when you buy a bare root plant, right? You buy a bare root plant when it doesn't have leaves on it. Doesn't have leaves on it, the roots can be bare, or sometimes they pack them in sand, or sometimes they pack them in, wood shavings with a little bit, moisture. And so that's the plants are sleeping, and so they don't have any external output. They're sleeping, and all their energy is bundled up, and so it's easier to go, okay, you're going to go here. And the roots on some of these saffrons can be quite large. I do have a saffron video. You can find the link. And I think I showed digging them up to separate them. And you do that just like you would tulips. So like you just like, if here's where the plant is, you dig over here and you pop it up and just separate them and put them back in. And you can get quite a few out of there. Yeah. Good question though. So I would do it after they have senesced. So when the leaves die and there's no more green, between that and September, October, when they start, because October they'll start growing to pop up again. So good question. Good question. Something else I did this weekend is bread, ravioli, and rigatoni with Mr. Percy. Thank you for the link, Verna. And so baby bunnies are on the list about 30 days from now. And so that cycle is beginning. And so that's really good. The grass is starting to grow in the pasture, and it's growing really well. So hopefully by the time I'm ready to have bunnies out on pasture, which will be in 9 weeks ish, 9 weeks ish, 9-10 weeks. Hopefully there'll be grass growing. If there could be snow too, but I'm still going to put them out there. If I need to put, give them hay in that area, I'll still put them out there. Want to get the nutrients into the ground, and there's a lot of little jelly beans out there waiting for the rain to break them up, and new little nutrition packets. Now I want jelly beans. Yeah, so there's a lot of little nutrition packets out there waiting for the rain to decompose them and put them into the ground. So yeah. Andy says, I put a few couples together yesterday. I didn't see much, but it's still been hot here. Yeah. Black gold nuggets. Yep. Yeah. And so Percy took a while, like the very first one, he forgot how to romance the ladies. Guys forget. But then he was better at the romance part later, did the little kisses and the little grooming. Yeah. I got that you were doing that, Andy. You're just like, and you go together, and you go together. Matchmaker Andy. Dawn says I'll find out if mine will have babies or not one day. Do you know what the time frame is on yours? Because I think you said they were bred when you got them, right? I don't remember how long ago you got them. So that'll be coming up. I will be doing some videos about setting up the trail cameras. I'm actually going to film part of that when I'm at my parents', because my dad has a portable version that I taught him about. And so since I am not making that here, I'm going to be like, let's talk over here by this thing. And it will be good. Yeah. So I'll be doing some of those videos. I was going to have that to come out this week, and that didn't happen. That did not happen. So next week we'll do Thursday instead of Monday. That'll take a lot of stress off of me for a travel day. So I just want to say that again because I think some people weren't here earlier when I said that. And that way I will be able to not be stressed to try and do a video while I'm traveling because it wouldn't work. Okay, Don says I put them together a week or two ago. Remember, he yep, yep, yep. You charted it, but I'm not in your office. Yeah. So I would say day 27. Some people say day 26. I do day 27. Put in the nest box and see what happens. Some people don't do that right away. Some people offer hay or straw until they see them carrying around. But you have to me, my opinion, is that you'd have to offer it so much that you might miss it. And that would be my concern is that and she would just have, them on the wire, and it would make me feel very bad if that happened. But yeah. So day 27. Day 27 is when I put the nest box in. I used to do 26, that's what I was told, and then it just seems like it's always 30 or 31. Every once in a while, 32 days. So yeah. Yep. Anyway. So that is what's going on here. I still have pears on the counter taken over my kitchen. I took them out to juice them. I thought I was going to juice them last weekend. That did not happen because they were not ready. So I think they're ready today. I'll probably do that tonight and juice them, and then I will be canning them as well. So there you go. Yeah, Andy says I pretty much count 30 days. I think 30 is the earliest I've had. I don't remember if maybe there was a 29 day, but I think 30 is the earliest I've had. It's usually 31 for mine. And I used to keep records like that. Like how many days this, how many days that. And I pretty much just stopped because to me, sure, if I had a rabbitry that I was saving them out of and trying to sell them and all that, then I would want all that information. But I can keep track of who's going to have babies. Record keeping is good. I just don't do as much as maybe I should. But that's okay. Yeah. So yeah, they got bred. And so that's good. And then probably in maybe 2 weeks, maybe, I'll breed the other two, maybe 3 weeks, whenever I feel like it. That way they're not having babies all at the same time, maybe 3 weeks. But yeah, I do definitely have to build more tractors because I want to get all of them and all of their babies, not the adults, but I want to get all the grow outs out on pasture at a good time. So number one, it's cheaper for me to raise, and number two, it's probably better for them. And better for moms. Give them a little break for the kids. Yeah. Andy says, off subject. You think we have subjects here? I picked 4 ripe figs today with a really loaded tree. Awesome. What kind of figs do you know? That's awesome. Don says, Andy sent me some charts that have all the days you do whatever on them. One has each and every day you check the babies, and if any died, doesn't mean I will do it all. After they're born, I do check on them. It's important to know if they're getting food, and if there is a dead one, to remove it from the nest box, because otherwise it will still heat from the live ones, and it will rot. So, yeah, good. Having a calendar available is a good idea when you're like When am I breeding stuff? When am I putting in nest boxes? Like, if you're going to be if you're going to be gone when the nest boxes go in, you better hope that whoever's watching your animals does it and isn't stressed over it. If you're going to be gone when the babies are born, well, you better have someone watching your animals that's prepared to find one on the wire, maybe halfway recycled. So, you want to make sure that you're planning for these things if you are going to be gone. Yeah. Andy says this tree is a Chicago Hardy. The other loaded one is Olympia. Awesome. I don't know Olympia, but no Chicago Hardy. It's supposed to have a peachy flavor. Yeah, next year I'm hoping by next year I'm going to go down and go to one or two of the California rare fruit growers scion exchanges and get a bunch of fig scions, because you can start those from seed from stick, from planting them, from cutting. There we go, from cutting. Same thing with mulberries. I want to be able to plant some of those from cutting. And yeah, I just think it's going to be a really great thing if I can get these very cool varieties. Because for those that don't understand, like figs, there's hundreds of varieties. Apples, there's hundreds of varieties. There's thousands of varieties, probably. I mean, the last apple tasting I went to had 77 varieties. Like, it's crazy how different they are, and all that. And if you're going to grow your own fruit or anything, you might as well grow the ones that taste good. There are some that taste wonderful and have a horrible shelf life. There is one nectarine that I want, and I tried to graft it, failed. I really want the Silk Road nectarine. It lasts like 3 days on the counter, but it's so tasty. It's so tasty. Yeah, you can grow these tasty things. They're not going to be found in the stores. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don says, I don't leave like that. I run to Tennessee and back in a day. Yep. There you go. Andy says, in April, Baker Creek puts the fig trees up. This year was April 8th. Yep. They have fig trees. Lots of places have fig trees. But yeah, if you're looking for a particular variety, make sure and do that. If you're in an area that has the California rare fruit growers, I would definitely look into growing things from a stick. The only thing not the only thing, one of the things that's better to get one with roots already is that it'll be faster to grow, right? So it'll be faster to actually get to fruit. But yeah, they're good. They're good. Uh, oh, sweet potatoes too. Maybe I won't order them this year. Maybe I'll be ready. Maybe I'll know stuff by April, because I think it was April that the sweet potatoes were ready for ordering too. Because they have good sweet potato varieties. Dawn says, I have quail too, hatching and saving eggs for orders too. That is awesome. Awesome, awesome. Yeah, figs from sticks take a couple years. Yep, you're right, Brenna. But if they're free or nearly free, go for it. If I can if I can get different varieties, that you can't find, some of these varieties from the California rare fruit growers, you cannot find anywhere else. Like, you can find somewhere else, I'm sure, but you can't find it in stores or nurseries. They're not common, and yeah, they're really good, really good. All right, Dawn says, oh, you already said that. Andy says, a Chicago Hardy I got from Tractor Supply in the spring. Yeah, Chicago Hardy is pretty common. I don't know what varieties grow here. It gets cold, but it doesn't get like as cold as where you are, Andy. I think the coldest it gets here, I think the record's 14 degrees Fahrenheit. But yeah. And he says I could tell it was a scion. I think that's how it's spelled. Yep, spelled like the car, which I don't know why a car is called a scion. What are you putting on it to make it live? I mean, what are you putting it on to make it live? Anyway, yeah, that's how you spell it. Yeah, I mean, a cutting, I think, would be a more accurate portrayal, a more accurate name for that because what they do, your money. That's right, Verna. Oh, that was good. So a scion is something you cut to put onto something. So like, hey, I want this branch to grow on these roots. So this is the scion. You cut it off and you go, here you go, roots. Here's a new tree. This part is a scion, this part is the rootstock. But when they do figs, I don't think I've ever seen a grafted fig for sale unless it was a multi-graft. But usually they just root it. So yeah. Something up in the garden expansion where I'm still working on getting that organized. I want to have like a rooting bed. And so I think I need to research that. Anybody have any good references for rooting beds or I don't remember what they're actually called, but basically from cuttings or from seed, but from cuttings. And I'm thinking of having like a air pruning a way to do air pruning there. Um, anyway, yeah, it was not a graft. Yeah, yeah, that's what I figured. So they do the same thing with kiwis and grapes and all the different berries. I don't know if they do that with blueberries or not, but all the little things that you get in this little like long tubes, that is all like that. So yeah. Okay. I'm yawning already, guys. Goodness. Um, yeah. Oh, I have news that is just fun for people that like the news. Mama Kitty, Miss Mama Kitty, let me pet her belly this morning. I know we're yawning all the time. I'm sorry, Verna. Maybe you started it. Can I sense your yawns? I know you can see mine. Yeah, so Mama Kitty let me pet her belly. She went like this. Another day when she was not on her bed by the food, she did come up and smell my hand when I offered it and then didn't want pets there. So we're getting close there. So yeah. Dawn says I need to get off for the night. You stayed late tonight, lady. Have a great night, everyone. LOL. Y'all yawn together. Good night, Dawn. Good night. Um. Anyway, I don't know. It's big news to me. She's coming right along. That is for sure. For sure. Um. Yeah. So we are going into winter. I'm just bringing this up because I just gave some seeds to someone. Um, we're going over into winter, and I have not done uh, sprouts in a while, and I don't know where my mung bean sprouts are or seeds are for sprouting. They're somewhere. I think they're actually in the cupboard right there, but I don't know. Um, but yeah, so that's just a reminder that these things exist. Because I know I always forget. I've not done microgreens, but microgreens and sprouts and all that. Yeah. Yeah, she gave so Verna says she gave you her belly, you are her family. I think she trusts me. She's just she's just not quite sure. I'm waiting for one of these days she's gonna jump up on the bench with me and Ringo. I just think one of these days it's just gonna happen and she's just gonna be matter of fact about it. And I didn't, you know, yeah. Dawn says, oh, thank you. Gotta go check an injured bird. Ooh, before lights out. Get on the bike late. You're so good about that. Yeah. Yeah, Mama Kitty's been coming along. She really has. It's so funny. It's so funny. This morning I was feeding them and then I pet them and um poor Ringo. This was last night. This was last night. Poor Ringo was trying to squeeze into the bed and she was just like, "No, this is my time. This is my time." And so I was petting him and petting her and petting him and petting her. She did not like that because my hand is for her only. And so she like like that. It was really cute. She's been doing that. She's been doing that. She's a little jealous, which is so funny because she's not coming up to me at all other places. Yeah, one of these days she's gonna climb up to you like Ringo does. Exactly. I know it's gonna happen. It's just I've been here a little over a year and yeah, I seeing her the first time I saw her, she was so skittish, like you could barely see her. And she had worry lines. Her whole forehead was like that. She's all relaxed now and she's doing much better. So yeah. Yeah. Um oh, actually, do you guys want to so we're going to do a saffron video for tomorrow and then either a bunny video or a surprise video on Thursday. Which one do you want on Thursday? I'll let you guys choose. We'll see how much editing I'm doing tonight. Uh, yeah. I guess there's not many people on. Where is everybody? Surprise. Okay, I'll do the surprise one. I had to be careful not to put stuff in the week in review because I wanted it to be a surprise. Anyway, so I'll do that for Thursday. And then the bunnies will be next Tuesday. That'll be the plan. I know. Where is everybody? Oh, someone just came on. Where is everybody? That's the question. What party did we not get invited to is the question. Well, hopefully next Thursday people will be on and yeah, sorry to push it to Thursday next week, but you know, it was just going to be too much at once and since it's a travel day, I want to be able to spend some time with people and all that. Perhaps they went to bed. Right. Right. Oh. Yeah. So we did the Cook With Me live this I didn't talk about that yet. Saturday. And so we did oven fried chicken, which was good. I did it with rabbit front legs. And it was interesting because the recipe called for very finely chopped pecans, which I would never put in a breading, but it was very good. So we did that, and we did a spaghetti squash casserole, which was surprisingly good. I that was a recipe from Erica. Um, yeah, PJ wasn't here tonight. She might be sleepy. She might be. I know she's doing a lot of things right now. She was there on Saturday, but I think she's quite busy right now. She probably fell asleep. Um, Sleepy kind of evening. I know, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, so we did the spaghetti squash casserole, which was I never know what to expect with squash because some recipes are just like not great, and then some recipes are. And this was a good recipe and a good base recipe to add things to it, so it's good. In fact, spaghetti squash is not something that I ever was like, hey, let's grow it because I never cooked it. Well, like yeah, but now I know how to cook it, so it's good. Oh, Andy's thinking about going to bed soon yourself. That's fine. That's fine. Um, yeah, and then we tried mozzarella sticks, and that did not work. We tried them in the oven. So you're supposed to freeze it for an hour after it's breaded, and then you put it in the oven. But it just melted. We had melted cheese with breading on each side. It was tasty. It was not our goal. Um, but that was basically it. We did not. succeed in that. I think Erica fried hers on the stovetop and hers worked. But yeah, if you're making it from scratch, don't put it in the oven. That's the conclusion we came to. So, never heard of baking them? Yeah, there were three options in the recipe. So one was to bake them, one was to air fry them, and one was to fry them on the stovetop. Hi, Desiree. And so I'm like, oh, well, we're already baking things. The oven's already hot. Let's just put it in there. And you crank it up to 415, I think. And yeah, it needed to cook faster on the outside. And that didn't happen. So, but they were, I mean, taste like melted cheese with flavor, flavored melted cheese. So that was good. Uh-oh. Desiree got a new check. What'd you get? Right. Yeah, Verna, you can see it working in the air fryer, but not the oven. Yeah. I did order a toaster oven. I used to have one and I left it with someone when I moved. A silky, that I was gonna say that's not a quail or a chicken, but it's a chicken. It's a very tiny chicken. Just one? Does it get along with the other chickens? Yeah, so I ordered a new toaster oven because I haven't had one in a year. And with the solar stuff and how much electricity the oven makes and how many people I am, it makes sense to have a smaller something that I can use um, on the solar. And then that will have an air fryer in it because I also left the air fryer with someone, which I didn't use very much, and he used it more. So yeah. Um, oh my goodness. Desiree says also my quail hatched early on Sunday. And I want to know what Vernon wants to know. How many hatched? Awesome. Good, good. Yeah. The hatching is good. I still have steps to do before I should hatch anything. Yeah. So there's a clarifying question, Verna. How many hatched and how many eggs did you incubate? So what she's looking for is your hatch rate and actually how many babies you have. Chicks. How many chicks? Yeah. So that is the question to Desiree. Anybody else hatching things? Um, I haven't heard much about hatching recently, except for Desiree and Dawn. Okay, Desiree says only 7 have hatched. The 8th one pipped and died in the egg. Have 2 eggs left, but I don't know if they will hatch since they look way beyond in development. Okay. They look behind. Way behind, not beyond. Okay. Well, that's a pretty good hatch rate. Yeah. Yeah, 7 out of 10. That's 70%. That's pretty good. Andy says, I keep thinking about ordering some eggs. Does that count? Uh, yeah, sure. You're on the same page I am. Um, 2 of my neighbors, their chickens just started laying eggs, and that was going to be my goal. My goal was going to be to hatch some so that they could start laying in the wintertime, and that did not happen this year. So I'm a little frustrated out, but that's okay. Yeah, I know, Verna. I know. She says I think about it all the time and get depressed. Yeah. Um, it's nice to hear the little peep peeps, huh? Yeah. Having the birdies go Yeah, same with the rabbits. Yeah, Verna, I think you need a new place. You need a place that will let you have animals. 2 pet rabbits, that's all you need. 2 pet rabbits that happen to get together every once in a while. Yeah. Well, goodness. Excuse me. Um, yeah, hopefully, at least you have fresh eggs, right? You still have the person that you're getting fresh eggs from? Yeah. So yeah, I have 2 neighbors that just started getting eggs with their baby birds. And then I don't know if the person I was getting eggs from, if they put light on their birds or not. I will get one every once in a while from Miss Smilo. Not sure why she started up again in fall instead of summer. Oh no, no room, Berta says. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Really? I'm tired, guys. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Anime says male was very rough with handling the eggs. So far, male in Kentucky is very bad and rough with handling packages, which is crazy. I am so sorry. Oh, Verna, yeah, you don't want bad eggs. That sucks. Um, Anime, do you know if the if the handling was on like your local side of things or if it was like in transit? Do you have any idea about that? Because another option that could be is to take them, like, is to call the post office and say, I have a box coming, let me pick it up. Maybe they'll, I don't know. Yeah, if it's local, tell them you have a box coming and that you'll come and to call to have them call you and that you'll pick them up. Um, the other thing that you can do is to call them and say, "Hey, this is what it is. Can you bring it first?" So it doesn't sit all day in the mail truck because that can, if you sit eggs in a truck like it when someone goes to lunch, it can get hot enough to, that they're not going to survive. So that's also something that can happen in transit is overheating if they stay in a vehicle. Yeah. Everywhere. Yeah, Verna. It Yeah. Anyway, I was gonna ask people how, like, people that ship to Oregon, how that's been working because now all mail goes through Portland. So when all mail goes through one city, it takes a long time. It can take 7 days to get to the next town over, and that's not how it should be at all. So, yeah. Um, Desiree says started with 36. Okay, then that's not a good hatch rate. Started with 36, only 12 were good, and 9 cracked, and 14 detached. And like 2 of the cracked was rotten, was hot during the shipping. I, I'm not going to ask you to give a name, but is this from a reputable um, place? I'm trying to ask if it's the place, meaning they packed bad eggs or the packaging was not great or if it was 100% the post office. 14 had detached air cell. Not the shipper's fault. Okay, that's what I was asking because, like, if it is, then they definitely need to know about it. But that's why I said I don't need to give you a name, or I don't need you to give me a name. So um well, that absolutely sucks. I don't know why people are so hard on mail, but Yeah. Yeah. Packaging was amazing. Okay. Purely male's fault. Yeah. Right. So Verna says, Desiree, that's why you let the eggs sit for 24 to 36 hours before putting into the incubator to let the air sac or the air, yeah, to let the air settle to the top. Yeah. Um, but man, that could be rough. Did you let it settle? So what Verna's referring to for people that might be listening later is when you get eggs shipped in the mail, they can get somewhat scrambled. Hopefully not all the way scrambled. Um, there's a air sac or air cell that is in the fat end of the egg. So when you get your eggs of any kind, set them with the pointy side down for 24 to 36 hours, and what that does is it makes sure that that air cell is at the fat end, and it has to be at the fat end because that's the end the chicks come out of. So right at the edge of that air cell, what will happen during incubation is that air cell will get bigger, and then when the chick is ready to come out, it pokes into the air cell, and it can actually breathe, and then it pokes around the edge of that, and it has actually a less dense shell there, so it's easier to peck, and and then they can get out that way. Okay, you let them sit for 24 hours, more so 36. Okay. Um, man, all got chloroplast base for the rabbit cage, and it had a side that was smashed. That is terrible. I, I hope you're reporting these things, taking pictures and reporting them, because some people are never going to care, but if the people above them care, eventually they'll care. I had a very big argument with the place I used to live. Their postal people really sucked. Here, he's great. But there was one postal guy that was a really, really, really great one. And then he took on a different route. And then our route became the practice route. And going from like an outstanding um, postal person to someone who doesn't care, it was terrible. And it was a practice route. And so like as soon as someone maybe got it right, then it was on to the next person. So our mail was going all over the place. It was terrible. Um, yeah, so like Verna says, you can file it with the post office, as most packages come with at least $100 insurance on them. Um, yeah, I don't know about the insurance, but you can file it with the post office, and you can ask for the postmaster when you call them. So call them, ask for the postmaster, and do it every single time it happens, and have your neighbors do it every single time it happens, because it takes more than one call on a route to affect change. And it's annoying, but it is kind of what you have to do if you want things to change. Um, yeah, never had such bad mail services before. Yeah, so that's you definitely need to call your local post office. Make sure it's the local post office that answers, and then or even just go in and ask to speak with the postmaster. And the postmaster is the person that's in charge. And definitely, Verna says pictures are worth 1,000 words. Yep. And even more so if neighbors are having similar issues. Talk to your neighbors. Great way to meet your neighbors. Talk to your neighbors and see if they're also having these experiences, and encourage them to report them to the postmaster as well. That's the only way you're going to see change if it happens. If, I mean, where I was before, the lady was like, and this will happen because I'm going to make it happen, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you've said that to me 5 times before. It has not happened. Yeah. So, well, good. You have a special little quail you're excited about. Good. Good, good. I am glad. I did see, I think it was last week, I saw California quail. Was it last week? Maybe not quite a week ago. I saw California quail. They were in the pasture. So that was pretty interesting. Because I don't often see them here. I see them on the other side of the hill. So yeah. Rusty colored and kind of bald. Kind of bald. Okay. Okay. Benjamin Button. Is he bald because he's getting picked on? Or that the feathers haven't come in? Super tiny. Good luck, because the super tiny ones sometimes do not make it. So if you can baby him through the small times, maybe it'll live. Yeah. But I would warn you that the super tiny ones often you'll think they're doing good and then they just stop doing good. So good luck. Yeah. He's he does doesn't have a lot of feathers. See a Cornish cross of the of the quill world. Yeah. Um yes, Verna. Desiree does have many special quail. Yep. All the quail are special to Desiree. You've come a long way, haven't you? That's good. We like to see it. We like to see it. Um, yeah. So, Verna, are you going to dig up your gorilla saffron? Is that why you asked the question earlier? Because, yeah. Okay. Desiree's boyfriend getting around to loving the quail. That's good. You going to make a homesteader out of him yet? Right? Yeah. Oh, that's right. You guys got freezy. Okay, Verna. He likes the white ones and the jumbo browns. Yeah. I did see that she made him process one. Yeah, made him process a quail. Good job. Um, yeah, so Verna, that sucks that so it was a pouring freeze. So you got lots of rain and then freezing. Um, yeah. I'm hoping that where I put the saffron, it doesn't freeze too much. Like it's sheltered enough. Yeah. You didn't have any black ones hatch? It's okay. I'm sure you'll have other hatches, other opportunities. Oh no. That is not good, Verna. Gutter was overflowing and it froze in a pour down. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. That is terrible. Um, jeez. Yeah, that's a lot. I have gutter guards on my gutters, and they're gonna be the two over there are gonna be connected into the French drain system, underground system, so it just goes. Um, but yeah, gutters are important. Exactly, Brenna. Exactly. I understand. I understand. Um, and that was at this place, right? I think. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So nobody had any questions about the camera traps. Thought somebody would have a question. That's okay. I will have videos on how to set them up in the world later. What's out there right now is just the programming. So that's okay. That is okay. Well, guys, we are slowing down and we're almost at 8 o'clock. You guys have any more questions or things to talk about? Marissa's going to put a camera trap in my window soon. Ooh, security or people watching. Which one? Yeah, there's all sorts of them. Oh, Andy's back. If I fall asleep, good night. Good night. Both, exactly. Exactly. Um, yeah, I mean, you could do that, or I mean, it's a motion sensor that's easy for you to check. I don't know what other options there are for just like one camera. There probably is. I mean, you can get things for super cheap. I would look at your options for that. Desiree fed chickens mealworms today. Was this their first time having mealworms? How did they like them? They're huge now. The chickens, they grow faster than you think they do. Yeah, mealworms. When mine first had them, yeah, yours not a trail camera. Exactly, exactly. They love them. Okay, so the first time I fed mealworms, I fed them to quail, and the quail were so funny because I tossed them towards them, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And finally, one of them tried it, but they didn't know what they were, so they didn't try and get them. They didn't know what they were. Once they understood what they were, then they came running. They're all happy about it. Awesome. Soon your chicken chicks will be off the heat. Awesome, awesome. How old are they? Yeah, it's good to be off the heat. Yeah, I am curious how shipping to Oregon for eggs or is not working. Just because of everything having to go through Portland adds, it could add a week to it, you know, depending on where it's going. Okay, your older ones are 3 months and younger 1 month. Yeah, 1 month I think is about when the heat turns off or starts to wean. I think that's what it was. It's been so long since I had chicken chicks. Yeah, it's been almost 5 years. It'll be 5 years in March. 5 years on St. Patrick's Day is when these ladies were hatched. Um, yeah, it's funny that I know their birthday. Their hatch day. Yeah, are they born when they're laid or are they born when they're hatched? Because you don't ever say that they're being born. You say they're hatching. Anyway, a little wordplay there. So I hear a cat, and it sounds like something's happening. So I'm going to step aside. I'll be back, guys. Kitty, kitty, who's out here whining? Come here. Hmm. Okay, I'm back. 5 years last March, so that was March of 2020. I guess that's right. I went with my neighbor in her Suburban. She was driving, I was in the way back. We had masks on and the windows open. And was it 2020 or 2021? It might have been 2020. Yeah. Andy says it ain't living till it takes its first breath of air itself. Okay. There is Andy's definition. There we go. All right. That's fine. So which came first, the chicken or the egg? My answer is the dinosaur, but you know. Hatching is being born. Lucy's 14. When is her birthday? Do you know? Or do you have a gotcha day? Gotcha day. October. Okay. Yeah. That is true, Desiree. That is true. Laying the egg is same as human ovulation, more or less. True. Okay. We're getting technical. Lucy is getting old. She has some gray in her muzzle. She has some gray. She's a good girl. I don't know if you can hear me, Lucy, but you're a good girl. Yes, she is old for a dog her size. Yep. But keep her healthy and yeah. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, I think it's time to hang up and hopefully everybody's doing okay. And we will have saffron video and surprise video this week. So thank you for watching, and I think we're going to say good night, guys. All right. Good night, guys. We will see you guys next Thursday, 6 p.m. Pacific time. Good night.